parasites, I have put them up all together, and that is Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora, Isospora. Why have I put them together? Because they have a common clinical symptomatology, and that is diarrhea in an immunocompromised host. Diarrhea in an immune. So they will always give you some HIV positive ka history, and with that the patient is going to have diarrhea. So what are the three organisms? Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora, Isospora. Now, Cryptosporidium is of many types. There is Cryptosporidium hominis, there is Cryptosporidium parvum, then we have something called Cyclospora, Cyclospora kyatinensis. I'm just telling you their full names, not that anyone's going to ask you, but ek bar pad lo, so that if it's written in the paper, you shouldn't feel alienish, right? And Isospora, Isospora belli. So these are the different things, but we always call them by their first name: Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora, Isospora. So out of these, first I'll tell you a little bit about their introduction, then I have a beautiful table and a beautiful story coming up your way. Another story time is coming up, and with that story you will do everything. But first I want to talk about the member, which is a little different. And this Cryptosporidium thoda cryptic hai na, thoda hidden type hai, thoda hidden information hai iska, extra information. Please note, Cryptosporidium I've already taught you was belonging to that small mnemonic. This means it had a small infectivity dose, if you remember, yes? Also, if you remember that I had told you that this can resist chlorination of water. I've already started telling you all the cysts that can resist the chlorination or survive in the chlorination of water. Now what I want to add on is that this causes auto-infection. This is associated with auto-infection, means from the same person again and again he can infect his own self. I will be showing this to you in the life cycle also. Cryptosporidium is going to show you auto-infection. Let me tell you, auto-infection ka ek mnemonic hai chest. Right at the end of parasitology, I will be making these mnemonics. So chest ka C you have done. Which are the organisms that show you auto-infection? Chest mnemonic, C you have done, and that is Cryptosporidium. Let me show you the life cycle, because it's a little scary, but don't get too scared, okay? I promise it's not as difficult as it is looking. So what I can see over here is that intestine bana hai. How did I identify the intestine? Because I could see a lot of villi over here, as simple. Brush border dikh raha hai, villi dikh rahe. Then I see something is getting ingested. As I see over here, something is getting ingested. And what is getting ingested? The sporulated oocysts are the infective form. The sporulated oocysts. Sporulated matlab they are going to have sporozoas inside it. I can see, yes, sporozoids are present inside it. So when this infected sporocyst was there and sporozoid nikla, what did it do? It didn't go inside the intestine. No. It has gone and gotten attached somewhere along the brush border. I told you na, Cryptosporidium hamesha chup ke kaam karega. Cryptic. It's always going to be hidden. It's always going to go and make a tunnel. It's made a tunnel and it's hidden. That is, if you notice, I had made a chota sa tunnel wala slide over here because I wanted all of you to note that Cryptosporidium, and I'm going to tell you one more mnemonic for it shortly. Crypto mein sab kuch aisa hidden hoga. It's going to hide in a tunnel. So it is going to hide in a tunnel, and this tunnel is known as parasitiforous vacuole. So they ask you that which is the organism which is going to be present in the parasitiforous vacuoles along the brush border of the intestine. Means it's not going to go inside the intestine. It's not going inside the cells over here. It's going to hide over here in a tunnel. This is a previous year question. NEET, FMG, INI, CET. Every exam has asked you it. Crypto is cryptic. It's hiding its currency in some tunnel. Okay. So remember, it's a parasitiforous vacuole. Ye jo tunnel hai, that is a parasitiforous vacuole. And that is going to be along the brush border. After that, you can see different stages. There is merozoite, meront, then male and female, microgametocyte, macrogametocyte, and a sporulated oocyst is formed. So please remember, this can end up infecting our own self again and again. It's very, very thin walled. This sporulated oocyst banta is very, very thin walled. It can rupture and infect my own self. And that is why you're seeing one part of the life cycle is showing you auto-infection. And that's the first sentence about Cryptosporidium that I had told you. It shows you the presence of auto-infection. Otherwise, it can come out of the body in the diarrhea sample. Then it will come back again when the contaminated food and water, or it will go to another person after that. Is that okay with everyone? No confusion at all. So now you've learned is pure life cycle mein two things. Cryptosporidium infective form is sporulated oocyst, and it hides in a tunnel that is parasitiforous vacuole along the brush border. So the same thing if I had to look at it under a histopath slide, and if you go to your GIT chapter, I have taught you this in pathology also. Cryptosporidium parvum, this was also the AIMS 2019 question that you had PYQ hai. Can you see that there is a dot 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 like structure which is going to be present along the brush border, and now you can correlate all the pathology with the microbiology over here, that yes, this is along the brush border. Same, this picture came in the AIMS exam. This is also dot 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 along the brush border. Very, very important. Now, this was only about Cryptosporidium. What about its other members? Other members are not like this. Other members are not cryptic like this. Other members alag hai. They are spora brothers are different. Cyclospora, isospora. So, if I show you their life cycles, you will say that, okay, ultimately, ma'am, I'm seeing that you are eating cyclospora also, you are eating isospora also. At the end of the day, it is always going to be the sporulated oocyst only that you are going to consume. So then how will I differentiate in the exam? In the exam, firstly, in this life cycle, do you see any tunnel, any parasitiforous vacuole ya aisa kuch written? All of that is not written, right? Second difference that you can see over here is, what are we releasing? If you look carefully, what are you releasing? You are releasing something known as an oocyst, which you were doing in Cryptosporidium also. And if you look at the cyclospora over here also, you are releasing oocysts. But difference kya hai, ma'am? Over here, these are unsporulated. Their spores will develop in the environment. What you are releasing over here is unsporulated oocysts. They are unsporulated oocysts that are coming out in the feces. Whereas when you go back to the Cryptosporidium life cycle, there were sporulated oocysts. That is why to wo baar वापस आ रहा था. That is why it was causing auto-infection. Because what was coming out was directly sporulated oocysts that were coming out. And that is why it was capable of coming back to me and causing auto-infection. This is not capable of coming back to me and causing auto-infection because unsporulated oocysts are coming out. They will go in the environment, sporulate and then come back. Okay, so there is no auto-infection. One last thing. How do you get these? Eat anything. But one very interesting thing. For cyclospora, you get a question. This is associated with raspberry consumption. This is associated with raspberry consumption. And now I'm going to show you a list over here, and I'm going to show you a nice story also after that. When I have to differentiate between Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora and Isospora, I will have to see that, okay, in these oocysts, how many sporozoites are there? So, dekho, Cryptosporidium, I will right now tell you, Cryptosporidium is very, very simple. It's got how many sporozoites? It's got 4 sporozoites. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count in front of you. Koi problem nahi hai. Cyclospora says, मुझे तो cycle की तरह बनना है. I want to become like a cycle. Cycle means one wheel in front, one wheel in the back. So it says, okay, abhi also I have the 4 sporozoites, the same as Cryptosporidium. But what I'll do, 2 I'll put on my front wheel. That I'll put a sporocyst in the front, 2 over there and 2 on the back. So I have learned that Cyclospora wants to become like a cycle. One wheel in front, one wheel in the back, and usme do sporozoites it has fit. So Cyclospora is a cycle, and that is your mnemonic. Cycle pe raspberry lene gaye. Went on a cycle to buy raspberry. That is your mnemonic, because Cyclospora will show you the sporocysts in the form of this cycle, 2 wheels wala story. And raspberry, because I just told you Cyclospora is after the consumption of raspberries that you have. Simple. Now coming back, so cycle pe raspberry lene gaye. Coming to isospora. Isospora, as you can see, by the way, I want to tell you over here, don't ever get confused, because isospora might be written in the exam as cystoisospora. Ab cystoisospora likhe ya isospora likhe. For me, it means the same. It means isospora. And here I see there are no 4 sporozoites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many sporozoites are there? There are 8 sporozoites. They are again differentiated. 4 in the front wheel, 4 in the back wheel. So please remember guys, now I will differentiate it. So Cryptosporidium had simple 4. ठीक है. Cyclospora said मुझे cycle बनाना है, तो 2 in the front, 2 in the back. 2 over here, 2 over here. Isospora says I want to be the supreme of them all, so it has kept 4 and 4. There are total 8, and this will how you will identify the morphologies of the sporulated oocysts, because now I'm coming to the next table which will tell you the size, shape and everything about it. If on the last day you have to revise coccidian parasites in 2 minutes, this is the go-to table that you have. Now, first you will go in the exam and write it in the alphabetical order. Cryptosporidium, CR, then CY, Cyclospora, then Isospora. Alphabetical order mein likha. Now let's start with the size. Cryptosporidium had how many sporozoites? 4 sporozoites. So size भी 4 microns रखते हैं. It is gonna be 4 to 6 microns. So what will I do for cyclospora? 4 का double 8, 6 का double 12. So what do you think is the size? The size of cyclospora, 4 ka double 8 and 6 ka double 12. So 8 to 12 microns. Next, iska bhi double karo. 12 ka double and 12 ka triple. What is 12 ka double? 24. 12 ka double 24. 12 ka triple 36. So roughly between 24 to 36 microns is isospora. Actually books mention 23, but chalega. For our mnemonic we can do upar niche na. So double, 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 triple. That's all that you're doing. 4 to 6 microns is Cryptosporidium. Double it up. So 8 to 12 microns is Cyclospora, and double triple 12 ka double triple, that is 24 to 36 is Isospora. What is the shape? The way you write Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora, Isospora. First write their alphabets. Cryptosporidium looks like a C, so round bana do. This is going to be round. Cyclospora also looks like a C, so round bana do. Isospora is I, aisa long, so that is going to be oval. That is going to be oval. Are all of them acid fast? Yes, when I say something is acid fast, I'm talking about Zn stain. But over here, I'm not talking only about Zn stain. I'm talking about the cold Zn stain. And cold Zn stain, as soon as I say Zn stain, now 2 questions you start asking me. Normal wala Zn stain ya cold wala Zn stain? Let me show you. What I'm going to talk about is the cold wala Zn stain. The cold wala Zn stain. And do you guys remember what was the name of the cold Zn stain? It was the Kinyon stain. So the first question you always ask me, कि cold Zn stain is known as Kinyon stain, and I had told you in the general microbiology also that you do it for coccidian parasites. You are going to do it for coccidian parasites. So please remember KKK wala sounds. Coccidian parasites ke liye you are going to use the cold Zn stain, and the cold Zn stain is known as the Kinyon stain. Now please come back and see over here that are all of them going to be Zn stain positive? Yes, all of them are going to be Zn stain positive, but ये जो cyclospora है ना, ये cycle की तरह चलेगा, cyclical. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. So can I in other words say that this is going to be variable acid fast? It is variable. Sometimes it will be acid fast, sometimes it won't. So simple. Now your story is done. देखो cyclospora का story हो गया. Can you see a cycle? Because I told you ना, it has 2 sporozoites ahead, 2 sporozoites behind. तो cycle wheel की तरह 2-2. And then raspberry, I realized that okay, raspberry consumption से cyclospora will occur, and now I've understood cyclical है, तो sometimes it is going to be acid fast, sometimes not. Now if I look at this picture, I think you can analyze. पहले see size तो I can't sit and measure, size I can't do, shape I can see. This is round, तो ये कोई C वाला organism होगा. This is also round, ये भी C वाला organism होगा. This is oval, this is elongated, this must be that isospora. So done, isospora तो I have identified. Then under C, I have either Cryptosporidium or I have Cyclospora. So how do I differentiate? Over here, all of them are pink. All of them are acid fast. All of them are acid fast. Over here, some of them are acid fast. Some of them are totally white. Means it is variable acid fast. This definitely must be Cyclospora. Coming back, I have understood it. अब autofluorescence. Fluorescence matlab shine. Who is gonna shine? Brothers always get together and shine. Spora and spora. Brothers always get together and shine. So cyclospora and isospora shine on their own. They show you autofluorescence. Now coming to the next thing. Treatment. Treatment सबका देखो. स्पोरा ब्रदर्स का तो ट्रीटमेंट सेम है. स्पोरा ब्रदर्स का ट्रीटमेंट इज कॉट्रीमॉक्साजोल, बट द क्रिप्टोस्पोरिडियम देखो. क्रिप्टो करेंसी किसके पास है? क्रिप्टो करेंसी तो आई ट्राई टू गेट अ कैरिकेचर ऑल्सो. क्रिप्टो करेंसी, बिटकॉइन क्रिप्टो करेंसी, नीता अंबानी. तो नीताज ऑक्सानाइड इज गोइंग टू बी द ड्रग फॉर क्रिप्टोस्पोरिडियम. रिपीटिंग, नीताज ऑक्सानाइड is going to be the drug for cryptosporidium, whereas for all the others it is cotrimoxazole. So now what are the 2 stories that you had to do in this entire chapter? One story was raspberry on a cycle. तो raspberry consumption से होगा, तो cycle मतलब cyclospora, and cyclical मतलब sometimes it is acid fast, sometimes it is not. The next story that you had to do, the story of cryptocurrency. तो cryptocurrency मतलब I'm talking about cryptosporidium. Cryptocurrency छुपाना पड़ेगा ना, you will have to hide it. So where will you hide it? You will hide it in a vacuole called parasitiforous vacuole. And what is going to be the drug? So who has lot of cryptocurrency? That is going to be nitazoxanide, and that becomes your story for Cryptosporidium. I hope you're having fun with these stories, because that's the only way you can learn all of this. And you have wrapped up this chapter, which means you are ready for some MCQs. Starting with question number 1 over here, you have an HIV positive patient. I told you HIV positive patient with diarrhea, start thinking of Cryptosporidium, Cyclospora, Isospora. Round organism, matlab it can be either C and C. Isospora to out ho gaya. Okay, then I have either Cryptosporidium or Cyclospora. So then they've given me the size. So I know Cryptosporidium was 4 to 6 and double karna tha 8 to 12 was Cyclospora. So what is your answer over here? 8 to 12 was written, so it is Cyclospora. See, life has become so simple. Let's move on to the next one. Parasitiforous vacuole is suggestive of, you will say parasitiforous vacuole, that hiding tunnel, cryptocurrency hide karta hai. Cryptocurrency hide karta hai, matlab I am talking about Cryptosporidium. Now one piece of advice. In the exam, sometimes we get so excited na, that what we have studied has come, our mnemonic has come. Students come back to me saying, "Arey ma'am, that cycle mnemonic came, that Nita's oxenide, Nita Ambani, Bitcoin mnemonic came." Then you forget that instead of Cryptosporidium, you ended up marking Cryptococcus. Cryptococcus was a fungus, meningitis wala, alag tha. So now in the exam, before you get so excited that you know the answer, read all the options carefully. Another one, the life cycle best describes which of the following? Ab you will say, ma'am, life cycle to very difficult, but I can see that hidden wala tunnel formed over here. Hidden wala tunnel matlab parasitiforous vacuole, hidden tunnel Cryptosporidium. See, I told you, if you know that one buzzword of every life cycle, things are sorted. Coming to one more, the oocyst shown below is depictive of. So I said, दो आगे वाले wheel में, दो पीछे वाले wheel में, cycle बना दिया. Cycle बना दिया means you are dealing with Cyclospora. Coming to another one that you have, a person who has recently consumed half a box of raspberries came down with severe watery diarrhea. What is the most likely organism? Cycle pe raspberry bana hua, you will always remember. Raspberry on a cycle, that is Cyclospora is with raspberry consumption. Coming to the last question that we have, which is super simple. Sabin-Feldman test is done for. We all know Sabin-Feldman test is one of the gold standards that we have for toxoplasmosis, and that is sorted for us. Which of the following is not a coccidian? I really didn't want to take this up, but they asked you once in the paper. It's quite an irrelevant question because ab to pata hi hai that cyclo, iso, crypto, they are all coccidian parasites. Which is not a coccidian parasite? Of course, Entamoeba coli ke naam mein hi hai, it is an amoeba, it is not a coccidian parasite. So yeah, I didn't want to take that question up, but since it was a PYQ, let's finish it off. With that, we finished all the coccidian parasites also, and now we can move on to